Hey everybody, this is KillRed40 and welcome to my second impressions video. Today we'll be talking about two games, the first one being Carrion. Carrion is a reverse horror game where you play as a monster that roams around a laboratory, wreaking havoc, killing people and trying to escape. Think of something similar to John Carpenter's The Thing or the last Lovecraftian hentai that you watched. Now this thing is a lot less sexy and a lot more scary, evolving and whipping dudes around with the fury of Amber Heard on a bad hair day. You start off stuck in a containment unit in an underground laboratory, and a lot like last week's spaghetti leftovers, you escape from your Tupperware container to wreak havoc among the poor scientists of wherever the fuck this is. The story is pretty thin, or at least as far as I've gotten. The graphics are in the same vein of style as a lot of other Devolver Digital games, a retro 16-bit style that would look almost at home on the Super Nintendo, kind of like Hotline Miami or Katana Zero. Personally, I don't mind the 16-bit aesthetic. I actually really enjoy it. I like the way pixel art looks, and I think for the most part it looks really good, even downright impressive at some points. As your bloody turd monster roams the hallways of the underground lab, stringy tentacles fill the screen, helping to traverse the 2D laboratory. This feels surprisingly fluid, and the movement, I would say, is even the star of the show. As you sneak around hallways and slip in and out of vents, it all feels good and incredibly snappy and responsive. In most games, combat is where most of the mechanics come into play, but Carrion is a lot more similar to an old Metroid game than a Twitch-based shooter. There's a lot more of a heavy emphasis on exploration and puzzle solving than attacking and eating people. For the first few minutes of the game, I actually wasn't really feeling it. I don't know, I just wasn't what I was expecting, but later, when I gained more power-ups and encountered more powerful enemies, I started to enjoy my time more. Flamethrower enemies and sentry bots are both really fun to encounter, one encouraging you to sneak behind them and rip them to shreds, while the other one is just a lot of fun to smash into walls and whip around like you're just going crazy. A few nitpicks though. One is that the rooms are all separated by a black screen. While this isn't a big deal, it did keep reminding me that I was playing a video game, and at times the rooms were so small that the black screens were within seconds from each other. The other one is because of the simplistic graphics. I feel like nothing was really all that scary. Carrion is marketed as a horror game, but I don't really see anything all that scary about it. The music is all really good, but I feel that when it comes to games like this, horror needs to rely a lot more on the sound effects than anything else. For me, I thought the screams are really repetitive, and I think the game could use just a few more pixels to accurately portray the terror that the characters are feeling when you wrap your tentacles around them. Will I keep playing Carrion? For sure. The more abilities I get, the more the game opens up, and I love how fluid the game is so far. It's incredibly enjoyable, and so far I'd recommend it to anyone thinking about picking this game up. Don't expect Twitch-based gameplay or any real scares, but I think if you're into puzzles or exploration, you'll probably really enjoy Carrion. Now for my next game, if you have any aversion to blinking lights or fast-moving objects, I highly recommend you click off now. This game is like pretty intense, so just be ready for that. Alright, Post Void is one of those games that just fell into my lap. I was perusing my timeline on Twitter, and between highly intellectual political discussions about the ethics of children's cartoons, I stumbled onto the also reverse horror game Post Void. While the tutorial does shed light on some plot elements such as the fact that you carry your head around and need to keep it filled with white goo, the story is really nonsensical and purposely crazy and confusing. All I know is you're some kind of weird person that runs through different dimensions or maybe different headspaces, popping a cap into everyone's ass that you see. The main draw of this game is the speed and how fast you have to do everything. Post Void is a boomer type shooter where you only have a limited amount of time to complete the level. Your health is the fluid stored in the disembodied head to the left side of your screen. As soon as you're dropped into the level, your health starts depleting. With every enemy you kill, you gain more health, and the trick to the game is to continue the carnage without taking a breather. I love this game. The game is incredibly visceral and trippy. Everything seems to be made to be as abrasive as possible, and I really like that. It's got that punk attitude that is just something that I really love. The best example of this is the death screen. The art style is similar to old Nickelodeon cartoons, purposely ugly and grotesque in a very stylized way. While everything is super fast-paced and it's hard to see, I loved seeing the different enemies you encounter. My favorite being this monster that fills an entire hallway and you have to shoot it to proceed. The game oozes with this sort of twisted charm that's hard not to fall in love with. The gameplay is really what makes this stand out though. It's incredibly twitchy and reflex-based. There are really no breaks either. If you die, there's no loading screens or anything stopping the fluidity of the game. This is a rogue game, but but it's incredibly addictive. Every time I died, I instantly pressed the try again button, but to try and get farther than I did the last time. One of my favorite things about this game is it actually tells you how far you've gotten, informing you that you died on level 2 or 3 out of 11, and really tickling that competitive bone I think every gamer has in their body. As of now, I've played 6 hours of Post Void, and I plan on continuing to do so. I've only made it to level 7, but even just thinking about it right now makes me want to boot up this bitch and try again. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think of this video. Let me know if you liked it. Let me know if you're going to check out any of these games, or if you have checked out any of these games, what you thought of them. I also would be fine if you guys asked for a COG on either of these. Let me know. Like this video, comment. Thank you so much. We love you. This is KillRed40, and I'm out.